What up, what up, what up, people? It is the BetMoorSports Fantasy Show. I'm coming at you live and direct from North Virginia with my co-host, of course, the Guru, Stephen Trotman Bay, but you could call him
The Guru.
Yeah, of course. And we got some fantasy insight. If it's one thing that we do in fantasy, we win.
You're in the presence of champions.
Absolutely. And one of the goals is to kind of just give you whatever insight you might need to help you do the same thing. So we're going to be talking about the different players throughout and the reason why we would pick these players to win whatever game we're looking at them possibly winning. Overall, the goal is to kind of give you options. So just keep that in mind. And we're going to start right out the gate with quarterbacks because quarterbacks can be the most important position on the field. Wrong, right, Guru?
Absolutely 100% correct, especially if you're in the BetMoorSports fantasy group where quarterbacks get 6 points per touchdown instead of 4 points.
Ooh, 6 points per touchdown. In case you don't know, for those that don't know, we actually have a BetMoorSports fantasy league. That is a PPR league, which is pass per reception. That means anytime a receiver or a running back or a tight end, if anybody catch the ball, they get a point for it.
Yeah, point per reception. You say pass per reception.
Oh,
but they know what you mean.
I appreciate you.
And so, we will post the results of the BetMoorSports fantasy results in
the BetMoorSports group on Facebook.
Not only the group, but on this podcast. We will post the results of week 1 so you can kind of follow along as you follow along with us throughout this fantasy football season, man. We wish you all the best of luck. I don't believe in luck, but we wish you the best, you know. Hopefully one day y'all can also be champions like me and Avery.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if there's one thing that we know, that this is the best time of the year.
The most wonderful time.
Oh, yeah. All the way up until it's not. So, Guru, let's start with quarterbacks, man. Listen, it's a plethora of quarterbacks to choose from, but we want to pretty much determine what quarterbacks are, what quarterback would be a must-have. That means that if that quarterback is available during your draft, you want to get him.
Well, I'm pretty sure everybody has probably already drafted their teams, but if you have this player on your roster, or if you playing DraftKings or FanDuel or any of the weekly fantasy, Lamar Jackson is who I'm looking at. And no, not because he is my quarterback, but because he's playing the Jets. He doesn't have a contract. He's playing with everything on the line. And, again, he's playing the Jets, who's starting Joe Flacco. Their starting quarterback is injured, so I expect rushing yards from Lamar. I expect passing yards from Lamar. I expect touchdowns from Lamar against the Jets.
And he got something to play for.
That's exactly. You know, everything to play for.
Is everything on the line. But my question is, you think he's going to be timid? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, this is Lamar, man. Lamar, you know, he a real Florida boy.
Okay.
You know, I don't think that he would have set himself up if he felt like he was going to go out there and play anything less than top tier to kind of show Baltimore that y'all should have paid me because somebody else might end up paying this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Might be the Giants.
You hope. You hope.
I would love that.
Straight up. Well, I mean, if they don't want it, they can always trade him to San Fran. Trey Lance is on the market. We'll give you Trey Lance and AJ Garoppolo. My pick is Patrick Mahomes. I picked Pat Mahomes because Pat Mahomes is weird. He don't seem to show up as much as he do in games that are more challenging.
Right.
And they're playing the Cardinals. And Cardinals they got a solid defense. But it's gonna force Pat Mahomes to step up and play the way he's capable of playing. I realize that for a lot of what they do, they tend to take for granted the games that appear to be easy. That's why they always end up losing games like to the Browns.
Right.
But the games that they don't, they prepare heavy for and they play extra well. So if you can get Patrick Mahomes, you know, he don't got a solidified number one receiver outside of Travis Kelce, which I don't consider him a receiver.
Right.
But I think that's going to open up opportunities for him to just distribute the ball around in a way that is Aaron Rodgers. Even though that's a semi-contradiction because last year Aaron Rodgers only threw the ball to one damn person. But we do know that Aaron Rodgers got the potential to spread the ball around like a virus.
Right.
Now, on the other hand, there's some sleeper QBs out there too. So don't feel like that if you don't got one of these top-tier quarterbacks that you can't get a sleeper. And for me, my sleeper would be Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, he has a capacity to he can average 300 plus passing yards a game easily.
Well, he got the receiving core to do it,
and now he got a better receiving core than he had before. So I've never seen somebody who got so much on the line for their team, and it's solely based on them and their performance.
Right.
So that's my sleeper. I think if he can get the ball out, if he make good decisions, then he can get you a ton of points.
My sleeper would be Jameis Winston.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I got the
30 for 30
Saints. I got the Saints winning heavily against Atlanta.
Okay.
I feel like points will be scored, and I feel like Jameis will be the result of those points being scored. So I look for Jameis to have a big game against Atlanta.
Now, I know Michael Thomas might not play.
Okay.
But he still got Jarvis Landry. Who else do he got?
He got Alvin Kamara out the backfield.
Okay.
You know.
He going to feed him like a fat baby on a little titty.
And he got Chris Olave, don't
he? He do got Chris Olave, yep.
So he got receivers to kind of distribute the ball around. And like I said, it's Atlanta. They're playing Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta they got a quarterback that's playing in Indianapolis and Marcus Mariota starting as their quarterback. So
yeah.
I expect short fields for Jameis. I expect turnovers from Marcus Mariota, and I expect points to be scored from New Orleans.
It's crazy. A lot of people not gonna like this, but right now, Falcons equal Jets.
They're in the same ballpark.
They are definitely in the same ballpark. What about your sleeper? I got Trey Lance as a sleeper.
We just named our sleeper.
Not a sleeper. I meant stay away.
Oh, the guys to stay away from.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Okay.
I got Trey Lance as the guy that you need to stay away from, at least now because we don't really know what he's capable of. He didn't show anything in preseason, and he ain't show nothing last year. He don't got enough reps, and he got Jimmy Garoppolo trailing him, which is going to only add pressure. It's been reported that he's been irritated with them re-signing Jimmy Garoppolo, but it is what it is.
I would say Justin Fields, but I'm not going to say Justin Fields, even though I would stay away from Justin Fields. A guy that I would stay away from in week 1 is the guy who has taken over for Russell Wilson, and that's the one and only Geno Smith playing against Russell Wilson at home. And see how there's a lot of pressure on Geno playing against the guy who got Seattle their last Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he's the franchise leader in passing yards and every other statistical category from the quarterback position. This guy will be in town, and he's bringing a Denver Broncos defense that is not bad.
That
travels well.
Yeah.
So I would stay away from Geno Smith this week.
Okay.
Nobody should be starting Geno anyway.
Yeah. Who would pick him? I mean, you must be in a 19 team
league if you got
right.
Geno.
Good gracious. All right, let's go to running backs because from what we know, running backs is possibly the most important position in fantasy.
You remember a time when the running back position was actually like the most important position? I mean, it's still the most important position, but in today's fantasy football, you'll see guys drafting quarterbacks first round and wide receivers first round and tight ends first round. I just miss the days of the Larry Johnsons, the Chris Johnsons, the Priest Holmes, the Adrian Petersons, where you could look around and it was 10 to 12 running backs that you didn't want to miss. Frank Gore and Willis McGahee and guys like that all playing at the same time, man. Marshawn Lynch. Them days gone.
Right. It's crazy. It's weird.
It's really like 3 running backs that you must have, and the rest is like equal.
I don't get it. Just a kind of helpful a helpful tip. When you drafting, if you haven't drafted yet, don't draft multiple quarterbacks in your first 8, 9 rounds.
Nah, please don't.
Don't need them. You don't need them unless you're trying to use them for trade assets.
Right.
And even then, you got to have people that need them. So be very mindful of that. I feel like running backs is the most important because they run and catch. They got pretty much they going to touch the ball not as much as the quarterback, but second most after the quarterback. So I would definitely make it a point to focus in on them first. But my must-have running back in this whole process, of course, is Derrick Henry. That's my must-have because he has shown when you have a player who's so substantial that you know what they're going to do and you still can't do nothing about it. When he can break for a 92-yard touchdown at any given time, nobody's safe.
So that's your best running back for week 1?
That's my best running back for week 1. Even though they playing the Eagles and the Eagles,
the Giants.
Oh no, they are playing the Giants. Oh, that's even better then. They definitely want to go that route. Must have. Who you got?
This might shock a lot of people, but I'm gonna go with Alvin Kamara.
Oh,
and I'm going with Alvin Kamara again because I feel like the Saints will beat the Falcons handily, and I feel like they will be up, and it'll be just a bunch of handoffs late in the game. And as you said that, he may be down a receiver, so that means Alvin Kamara will get those PPR points.
Right.
And kind of help his stat. Plus, he's playing with a lot because he don't know if he's going to be able to play next year.
Right. Oh, yeah,
He still got a suspension looming over top his head, so he got to make the best of this season that he can make because he might have to sit down for a little while next year. So I like Alvin Kamara because he didn't show a whole lot last year, but with his quarterback back in the fold and some new receivers in the mix, I like Alvin Kamara against Atlanta. I just like the matchup. Of course, it would have been easy to go Jonathan Taylor against Houston, but that's a no-brainer. So I didn't want to give you something that everybody knows. You know what I mean? Everybody know to play Jonathan Taylor against Houston.
Right.
So I'm going Alvin Kamara as my must-play week 1.
Okay. All right. Well, what about sleeper? Sleeper-wise, I say, and it's weird because a lot of people won't really consider it a sleeper, but I consider it a sleeper because of his inability to be available. So I'm gonna say Christian McCaffrey is gonna be a sleeper.
They got him ranked number 2. I think he's overranked in a lot of people's rankings because most people have him ranked as the second best back.
Right. They the same people. They the same people who got Trey Lance winning the MVP. It just don't make sense. I don't understand it. I got stuck with him. But I feel like he's gonna be a sleeper because of who he's playing. And Cleveland got a good front four, but Baker Mayfield is a much better player than we think he is. And it's an opportunity for him to show it. And I think a lot of his success is going to come from dunking the ball down. Right.
So let me ask you one question, right? Are you saying this because the computer auto-drafted Christian McCaffrey for you in the BetMoorSports Fantasy League? Is this the reason why you're saying that Christian McCaffrey is the sleeper?
No. If it was up to me, I would not have picked Christian McCaffrey. I would have 36 points on the board right now at least.
Cooper Kupp.
Exactly. I would have 36 points on the board. And they took it so fast, it's so disappointing.
That was like the fastest auto draft I ever seen in my life. But my sleeper is, you looking at him. Saquon Barkley, man. Tennessee down there, best edge rusher, one of their best tacklers on defense. Same with Daniel Jones. He's going to be looking to dump the ball down to Saquon Barkley a lot. And I think it's going to be some short fields with, some turnovers here and there from both sides of the ball. So I look to capitalize off Saquon as a sleeper.
Well, and I know Saquon is forced to be reckoned with in the open field.
Right.
So if Daniel Jones found a way to give him the ball in the open field,
It's all about the offensive scheme. I think the scheme kind of fits Saquon's skill set.
okay. I mean, that makes sense because, I mean, look at him. It's not too many backs in there like him. I mean, he's comparable to Christian McCaffrey based on the skill set, but both of them can't find the ability to be available.
Right. So it's funny that they your sleeper and my sleeper.
Yeah,
Two people that's been asleep for the last 2 years. They damn self.
They showed up this sleep. What about your stay away?
Stay away. I'm going. It's too many to name. To be honest, probably Jacksonville running backs and Miami running backs because we don't know who's gonna get the bulk of the carries.
Oh, well, yeah.
Whether it's gonna be Travis Etienne, James Robinson, or in Miami you got the boy from San Francisco, Raheem Mostert.
Yep.
He down there, and Edmonds down there from Arizona.
Yep.
Edmonds make the most money, but Mostert has the best upside. They're both fast. They both kind of got the similar skill set. So I'm avoiding Miami running backs and Jacksonville running backs.
And I definitely agree. I would avoid Miami running backs. Mostert has not shown the capacity to stay on the field, and that is substantial. My stay away from is Leonard Fournette. I got Leonard Fournette. They're going against Dallas. Dallas front four is substantial. Not only that, but Tom Brady appears to may have a chip on his shoulder. He led the lead in passing last year, which means most of what he did was passing. And you got Chris Godwin that is most probably going to play.
Right.
Probable. You also got Mike Evans, which is the most consistent receiver in the NFL right now. And Russell Gage. He got a substantial amount of targets along with Cameron Brate. So when you got that many targets and you got Tom Brady, 9 times out of 10, you're going to throw the ball so much more. And it ain't dunk downs with Brady most of the time. Of course, he going to throw it to who's ever short. But when it all balls down, I can't see them running the ball enough to where Leonard Fournette is going to get what he need to get to be significant.
Gotcha.
All right. We got tight ends. We got receivers. We got defenses. Let's jump right into the receiver core. Receivers can be the target of a lot of people team when they're doing the draft.
Right.
I've seen people pick 10 receivers in the first 10 rounds. Stupidest shit ever.
Never seen it. I seen a guy show me his roster the other day. He had a bunch of receivers, but he had a awesome roster surrounding him. But he said he picked like 6 receivers in the first 7 rounds.
Oh yeah,
he still ended up with 2 starting running backs, this top tier, a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, and a stud at tight end. I said, who in the hell was you drafting?
He was drafting with toddlers, people that don't know no better. To let him, or he in a 14 draft or some shit like that.
He was in a 12-man league.
Oh my gosh! Well, yeah, he was. That's a fun league. He just kind of created that for his.
I'm talking about he got receivers like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson on the same team.
Oh my gosh!
You know what I mean? With 2 top tier running backs, I was like, how in the hell did you pull this off?
Either
AJ Brown, I think got AJ Brown and all of them on the same team.
Bro, he was cheating.
I thought he was cheating.
That's not right.
And he said he ready for the BetMoorSports League next year.
Well, he better bring his ass. Bring your ass. I got you. That's for sure.
But my must start for real this week is Scary Terry for Washington against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's secondary is trash.
Okay, he done threw a loop in there.
I'm going to start Scary Terry. Because like I say, when you look at guys like Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, that's obvious.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to get at people something that maybe they did overlook.
Right.
But Jacksonville's secondary is trash, so Scary Terry is a must start.
Scary Terry. Hey, I don't knock that. That's an actual surprising pick, especially with this lineup. But my must have is the person I mentioned before, Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a beacon of consistency, and they're playing the Cowboys. And while Cowboy fans love Diggs, I love how Diggs get burnt. So I'm looking forward to seeing this 6'5" receiver up against somebody like Diggs and see if Diggs gonna bite and try to get a pick.
Right.
Because I'm gonna tell you now, Tom Brady got ball placement, and he's superior at that. And at the end of the day, when you're trying to do that against him, you'll end up short.
Right.
And we know Mike Evans, he's 1,000-yard receiving year every year his career, so we know he's consistent no matter what. So I would definitely that's my must have. Sleeper.
I got a few sleepers. Hollywood Brown is one. Michael Pittman is another one. And Rashad Bateman is a deep sleeper for Baltimore. Again, they playing the Jets. And I got Baltimore scoring at least 30 to 40 points.
Okay.
So somebody got to catch and score these touchdowns that Lamar's going to be throwing. Pittman going against Houston.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Matt Ryan, he's capable of getting the ball out there to his receivers, and he like receivers like Pittman.
Right.
You know, they got a little speed, a little size. They can get open, run every route on the route tree. So them are my three sleepers.
Okay. For me, I got T. Higgins. T. Higgins is one because I think everybody now everybody's zoning in so much on Jamar Chase that T. Higgins gonna get his regardless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like when you got the focus being that way, Barber got to go somewhere else. And guess what? T. Higgins is the one that's gonna come through. Now you gave 3, so I'm gonna get 2 more just to kind of pan that out. The second one that I would say is a sleeper is Rashad Bateman.
Mm-hmm.
He's right now. I believe he's the number 1 in Baltimore. And guess what? Lamar got something to prove. I can't stress that enough. And then last but not least, don't judge me, Juwan Jennings with the San Francisco 49ers.
Who?
Yes, sir.
So we'll find a way to plug a 49 on every show.
All I know is San Francisco don't got a solidified number 2. We would expect it to be Brandon Ayuk, but Brandon Ayuk has been he's disappeared.
I look for a big game from Brandon Ayuk this week.
I hope so. But I feel like the connection that was made with Trey Lance is it initially was Brandon Ayuk, but I feel like it's been Juwan Jennings this preseason. I feel like they figured something out.
Where is this man located on the depth chart?
He's number 3 receiver.
Oh, okay. He probably won't see the field.
I mean, we'll run the team. So, listen, I don't care if he see the field not long as we win. I'm good. All right, let's take a break, man. Let's pay some bills, and we'll be back. BetMoorSports. We are back at it again. Welcome back to the BetMoorSports Fantasy Show. I'm your man, Avery. Of course, I'm chilling with the one and only Stephen Troutman B, a.k.a.
The Guru.
And we are at the tight end segment of the Fantasy Show where we're going to kind of get some insight on some tight ends. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in and just go with my must-have. My must-have is Travis Kelce, of course. He's the number 1 tight end.
Must have.
Right. Reason being is because Patrick Mahomes don't got a whole lot of targets. So if there's one person I know he's going to get the ball to, he's going to get the ball to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce going to have 197 yards, 3 touchdowns on 6 catches. I'm lying. But based on what he got to work with at this point, he gonna try. But yeah, I think that's the biggest asset for him. And without Tyreek Hill and nobody of the sort there, who else he gonna throw it to? I mean, I know he got people to throw it to, but who do he trust? And we know for a fact he trusts Travis Kelce. And at the end of the day, quarterbacks tend to focus on who they can trust.
Right. I'm gonna go Kyle Pitts.
Oh,
You know, like I say, and I keep picking players from this game,
yeah.
which kind of tells you a few things, right? That means I like it over. I like a lot of points to be scored. I like Atlanta to be losing much of the game, so I feel like they're gonna be forced to throw later in the game. And a tight end is a quarterback like Marcus Mariota's best friend,
Right.
right? So Kyle Pitts is the number one receiver, to be honest, in Atlanta
Yeah.
right now. So I look for him to get the ball to Kyle Pitts early and often. So that would be my number one must play in week 1.
Okay. Sleeper wise, I got Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is a sleeper in my opinion because I feel like Kyler Murray just got that contract. He got a lot of pressure. He got to complete a lot of passes, and for some reason, Zach Ertz is so far down on the rankings, and I don't believe that he belong there anyway. But I know he know how to play.
Right. He's
So-
a formidable tight end too,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Gave Philly a lot of good years, so that's not a bad sleeper. He's really not a sleeper, but you know he's not a
Right.
bad sleeper. My sleeper would be Evan Ingram. New team.
Okay.
Jacksonville, like I say, he's fast. He's a matchup nightmare, to be honest. He just didn't pan out with the Giants. But I think somebody like a second-year quarterback like Trevor Lawrence can rely on a tight end like Evan Ingram. And he's familiar with Washington.
Right.
And he's had good games against Washington without a quarterback as good as Trevor Lawrence to throw him the ball. And without being in a system as dynamic as Doug Peterson's.
Right.
So I feel like he has a lot of upside in week 1
Okay.
against Washington.
Yeah, and I mean, week 1 is the week where there's no tape. It's, you don't really know how he flow in that offense and things of that nature. So I think it'll be real good to see. What about your stay away?
Stay away from tight end. Man, I mean, in fantasy football, it's kind of like hard to stay away from a tight end because they're so few and far between when you think about it.
Right.
Like, you got to play a tight end. So,
I do got to stay
outside
away.
my top 5, the rest of them is really, you can stay away from all of them, to be honest.
I'll say Dalton Schultz for Dallas. I feel like Dallas got a lot to prove. And Dak Prescott is going to try to prove it based on personnel. So, one of the biggest things that people speak on is the lack of receivers.
Right.
And so I feel like that because they speak on it so much, Dak Prescott can try to prove that his receivers are gems. And in the process, I feel like he's going to leave Schultz on the back burner.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good reason. But he's going to need that boy.
Oh, yeah, he's going to need every
Because the receiving core in Dallas is trash outside of CeeDee Lamb right now.
Yeah.
So,
That.
I might have to go against you on that one, Avery, even though you are a champion at this fantasy football.
I can dig it.
I got to put him in my lineup if I got him because Dak is going to need some help.
He going to need it, but I think he going to go and find it or look for it somewhere that it ain't.
But then you expect a lot of turnovers then.
It's Dak, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Dak could throw the ball 50 times and have 400 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
But he can also have 2 picks and get sacked 6
Right.
times.
But Tampa does do a good job at covering the tight end, so, that's not really a bad player to stay away from.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I know they had Schultz rated 5.
No, that's too high.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely too high, in my opinion.
What about defense? So defense is something that I feel like in fantasy has been a big part of a lot of people's success because they give you those 10 points to lose. You know what I'm saying? So when they're giving you those 10 points to lose, if your defense stays solid, you got at least 10 points.
Right.
Now, in the event that your defense get ran over, you're going to lose points. And it's a gift and a curse because when you get those 10 points, let's say you in a tie game, you get those 10 points and it put you up. Well, you see it as you up, but you don't consider that you could go back down.
But the 10 points is only there for a shutout. Once the team score a point, the 10 points disappear automatically. So the 10 points start because you got zero. The other team got 0 on the board, so you start the game with a shutout.
Right.
Right. So if
the team score a field goal, you lose 3 points.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you get a turnover, you get 2 points back.
Absolutely.
So I think it's just about some people rely on that 10 points.
Well, from my understanding, I don't know if that's. I think if a team scored 3 points, you lose the whole 10 points.
You don't ever lose the whole 10 points. If they score a touchdown, then you lose the 6 points for the touchdown.
I got to do some research on that because
definitely.
I kind of look at the rules and that don't kind of say that.
Yeah, well,
because like I say, the 10 points is there because you got a 0 on the board. So the 10 points is awarded for the shutout. So if you maintain the shutout, them 10 points stay. Then you get points for every sack, turnover, touchdown, etc., etc. But if a team scores, you lose the shutout, so the 10 points go away and you start from scratch.
Here's a prime example. The Rams got mollywopped, right? You know how many fantasy points the Rams defense got? 9.
They had a lot of sacks and turnovers. That's where they got the points from.
Right. That's where they got the points from. They lost the points from the touchdown.
Right.
But right after that first touchdown, they went from 10 to 4.
Oh, I ain't paying no attention to it, but I gotta.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pay attention this weekend.
Fact check.
I'm gonna pay attention
for sure. But I'm
Sunday.
I'm like 99.996% certain.
What's that? 0.3. That's gonna get you. But I'm playing Baltimore against the Jets.
Okay, that's easy.
Yeah,
easy
I don't have them, but I'm playing Baltimore. I wish I had them. I should have got them, but Baltimore's a must-start. But if you want something a little more out there, I'm Denver against Seattle.
Yeah, I was gonna say Denver would be a really good start, especially this week from a FanDuel or weekly fantasy perspective. I would definitely go that route of the Broncos because it ain't nothing Seattle can prove right now. They gonna be short side of the stick. But I can't say my actual choice is San Francisco. Must have. It's not my fanmanship. It's San Francisco. We have an elite defense, and so at the end of the day, we playing the Chicago Bears. I just don't see any reason beyond the fact we're playing the Bears to not get San Francisco.
This is unbelievable.
You know,
this is unbelievable.
Hey, man, listen. When you know, you know. The team is your team. Sleeper.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. I would agree with that for sure. Especially because of who they playing?
Atlanta.
Yeah, that's
Marcus Mariota. And New Orleans got the Honey Badger and a pretty good pass rush. Cam Jordan and them boys, man, they already going to get after the quarterback. They solid across the board on defense, and they really underrated as a defense.
Right.
Then they added somebody like the Honey Badger. I just think that it's going to be a long day for Marcus Mariota and the wide receiver that they put at running back, Cordero Patterson. It's going to be a long day, man. And people don't even have running back. They got a wide receiver playing running back and a wide receiver playing quarterback.
Lord have mercy. That is going that's gonna be fun to watch.
Well,
That's for
hey,
sure.
do me a favor. Post who y'all best players at each position is in the
Absolutely.
comments, because we would love to see them.
Absolutely. And listen, if you can post your best lineup, and
Yeah.
best lineup we'll probably post it next week.
And post some of them weak rosters y'all drafted
Yeah, good.
in the comments. We need to see y'all rosters. I'm gonna post my roster in the
Right.
comments.
If you
My
think that
my starting lineup for my BetMoorSports starting lineup for this week, I'm gonna post in the comments.
if you think that you got the potential to win your league, then you shouldn't be hesitant to post your roster.
Absolutely not.
Post it. That's all I'm saying. My sleeper is Baltimore. Even though Baltimore's not really a sleeper, they're going against the Jets.
Baltimore's man. Come
Listen,
on, Avery. You gotta go
that's-
deeper than that.
Listen, Baltimore is not even top 10 as far as ranking.
Oh, they number one in my ranking for this week.
All I'm saying is they the sleeper, and they should perform extremely well. Like literally, this should probably be one of the best games they have all season because of who they playing. They playing a team that don't even got their starting quarterback, and who has a legacy of trash.
Right.
So we'll see though. We'll definitely see it. It shouldn't be as much pressure on Lamar Jackson based on who they playing, but you never know nowadays. Next thing you know, people come out the woodworks, and you got stars being born in these type of scenarios. So we'll see. What about your stay away?
I'm staying away from Dallas. Staying away from the Raiders. Staying away from a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, anybody under the top 10.
But then again, Dallas might be a good play because Tom Brady got
personal issues.
yeah, he got stuff going on. As he say, shit going on.
Hey,
Man say he got shit going on. He's 45 years old.
hey, but you want to know something? Right now, Tom Brady is operating off of muscle memory. So some shit you just do, and it comes simple to you when you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for a long time.
Might be a muscle that ain't got no memory with his old lady leaving.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Might go out there and be thinking about his old lady and throw 16 interceptions.
Yeah, hey, man, it's gonna take 16 interceptions. It's gonna take his ass out the game. So, and I picked up the Raiders too as my stay away defense, just because their defense is okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not enough that's gonna make me say, nah, you should definitely pick the Raiders. And if
Right.
I can't say that, if you got better options, I recommend going with the better options. But yeah, so listen, that's gonna give a complete breakdown of your whole roster as far as top players. First round picks, second round picks, at least the first 3 or 4 rounds.
Right. And we didn't go over kickers because kickers are self-explanatory, man. If you got a kicker, if he's on the field, put him in the lineup.
Exactly. You're gonna have to. And if you got more than one kicker, you should quit your league right
If you
now.
got more than one kicker that you drafted, retire from fantasy football.
Just let it go. It ain't for you. Hey, but with that said, listen, it's a wrap, man. Like, it's the first week NFL. I just want to wish everybody good luck in y'all fantasies. I'm looking forward to just the process. It's football, man. Like,
Yeah.
And,
Best time of the year.
Just a little advice: be careful when you're in those multiple leagues, because you might find yourself rooting against it yourself inadvertently.
Right.
So I try to kind of stay around the same people, versus trying to have the opposites or different people in another league that I got in one,
Right.
and I'm rooting for them to fail so that another league can be successful. So just be careful with that. But outside of that, man, listen, it's been a good conversation. It's been a great conversation. We're looking forward to seeing what y'all post. And you better believe we'll be back again next week. So, first episode ever of the BetMoorSports Fantasy Show. And we live, baby. With that said, we out of here. Peace.
Till next time.